we'll start. All right. Hi, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to As Above, So Below, a rune and tarot divination for Monday, the 8th day of July, 2024. Let's see. I forgot to look and see if there was anything happening. Let's see. I guess Venus enters Leo on Thursday in the morning about 9:19 a.m. My granddaughter's birthday's on Saturday, so there's that. Sending off some presents today for her. So I hope everybody had a good Fourth. I'm not sure our city, our town did any fireworks this year. We couldn't see them, and usually you can see a little bit of it from where we are, but there wasn't anything. So, but we had a fire weather watch alert on. In fact, I think it's still on. There was actually a fire the other day that broke out just east of the airport, and that wasn't good. But I think it ended up being over 250 acres or something, was what I read, or I think that's what I read. But I don't see any smoke in the sky now, so maybe it's over with. But I think they had to do like a level 3 go evacuation for some people over there. It's just always terrifying here. We're so dry because we're the high desert, and it's just a really dry area. And we're in a drought, and so maybe if they didn't do them, then maybe they were just being smart about it, but I don't know. You never know. Let's go ahead and get started. We have Thurzaz, Thor's rune. It's the third rune of the Elder Futhark. It means the thorn. I mean, it kind of resembles, this part looks like a rose thorn right there. It's Isa down and Kenaz reversed, so the light of spirit drawn inward. But you're looking at it's a fire element rune. Again, it's Thor's hammer. It's about defense. It's defending against opposition might be the best way to say it. It can mean protection. You think Thor's hammer in the movies, he swings it around and he's doing it to protect people. It can also mean impulsive behavior. It can mean giants, apparently, because reportedly Thor was pretty big. It can mean chaos. It can also be used in weather magic. But it's about I just view it either as defending yourself against something or trying to control impulsive behavior, either one. So let's see. We'll go with those two for now. Let's take a look at the Geomancy rune, and we'll see what the cards have to say, which direction we want to go there. I mean, maybe it's really the same direction with both. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see. Let's put these in the order of fire, air, water, and earth. Here we're looking at Laetitia. Laetitia is joy. It's good fortune. It's a very positive rune, very happiness-oriented. Let's see if I can find it. It's complement. Tristitia, on the other hand, is... let me get some tea here. We're still with medium high to high pollen count here, and it's awful. But Tristitia, its complement would be this way. Tristitia would be sorrow, but to the point of getting stuck there and holding grudges and not being able to get out of that. It's a very, I guess it's considered by some geomancy rune masters of old to be an evil influence, but I don't know that it's evil as much as it is. It just, you feel motivated maybe to be in a way that is just stuck, in grief and sorrow that is so deep that you can't come out of it, and so maybe you're not so fun to be around, but to the point that people are worried about you. It's that kind of extreme. But with Laetitia, it's about joy. So I think that maybe protecting what you have, protecting your happiness, maybe. Let's start out there and see where we go with that. We'll also take a look at the numerology here after I pull the cards before we get started on that part of the reading. But maybe, defending that happiness, defending your emotional security. Sometimes situations occur where you just kind of feel like, wow, what do I do now? And your happiness is threatened, your peace of mind is threatened, and sometimes our own impulsivity can threaten those things as well. By our own actions, we end up threatening that very thing that we need in our lives, right? And we undermine. You can say maybe we undermine that. So it could be something like that. But let's just wait and see until we look at the cards. Cut the deck, take the lower half, take 3 cards. Well, we have a run on wands. So again, Thurazaz being a fire element rune, we do have it's very action oriented. The fire element it's about the creativity, the spark of life, motivation, initiation. But again, what are you initiating? If there's too much fire energy, you can be a little too confrontative. You can maybe get into conflict with people if there's too much of that. So, and we have the 10 of wands, we have the 7 of wands, so you're carrying a heavy burden maybe, or you're trusting the process. And a more positive way to look at that one is you have a lot of new opportunities that maybe you can bring home and show the family. So you can look at the fire element as opportunity as well. So wands is the fire element. And then with the 7, though, you're kind of standing your ground. And then we have the 3 of Pentacles. So, and that's more integration and basically creating the situation where you can have material security. So he's working his craft, and people are coming by and looking, and so again, there would be protecting his happiness, protecting his material security. Maybe there is a little bit of standing your ground in the process of that. But let's, where is my calculator app? There it is. So we've got three numerology for Thurazaz, plus 10, plus 7. So we're up to 20, and then 3 plus 3. That's 23. So 23 reduces to 5. 2 and 3 is 5. So for an overall numerology for the reading, we're looking at 5. Now, 5 is also about protection. Okay? It's also about change, innovation, variety, freedom versus restriction. So if you're looking at freedom versus restriction, if you're looking at change, you're looking at protection with the 5. There could be something that you need to do here today to control your impulses or something like that, so that you don't impact your happiness, your material security, whatever you're doing to create all of that. So maybe there's a relationship between that and doing something job related. Or career advancement related, or if you're an entrepreneur, a business owner, being very careful what you do in terms of your business so you don't get yourself out on a limb that then affects your material security. Having the right type of interaction with other people. Again, with the 3, that might be talking about that. But let's look at the 10 of Wands first. Here we have a guy who seems to be walking in the direction of his home. You see this dual line of demarcation, and you don't see that on every card in the tarot. But when you do, there's a sense of something is over here and I'm here, or, there's 2 different locations. There's 2 different sets of experience, if you will. And with 10, it can either be endings or beginnings. Either way, 9 is considered also endings, depending on how you want to look at that number. But with 10, it reduces to 1. 1 and 0 is 1. And so you're looking at new beginnings, talent, leadership, the self. Think of it as your sun sign, who you are. And then, of course, I've said before, other esoteric astrology will look at your rising sign as the most important thing, not so much your sun sign, but you want to look at that as your influence too. But in this case, you could think of it as the self. 1 equates with the self. And no matter how you derive that. But here you see the rune Degas. Let me draw Degas here quickly for you so you can see what I'm talking about. Because I relate these things to runes as well. These readings I do. Degas is this is Degas, okay? If you turn this on its side, you have a skewed Degas, right? It's almost like one period is ended and another is beginning. And so there you get there, that reinforces the idea of 10 having more to do with new beginnings than anything else. And here, although this could mean he's carrying a heavy burden, he's leaning forward into it. On the other hand, this could be an entrepreneur who's just starting out and he's just gained a whole lot of new customers and whole new clients or jobs that he's going to be doing. So all these could be new opportunities. He knows where he's going, so he doesn't have to look. He's headed in the direction of home. And he's bringing back all that he's been able to manifest, essentially, to say, look, we're going to be okay. Again, part of happiness, right, is being okay in your work time, in your work life. And are you making enough money to support yourself and to help support your family? I mean, I'm assuming you have a family, okay? But, whether you're single or what have you still have to support yourself, right? And so then here, though, we come to a place where you're having to stand your ground and take a look at what's really coming in on you. In other words, this could be competition. If we're looking at this as career related, this could be competition that you're having to deal with. This could be the same man here represented here, or, I mean, they don't look alike. One's got blonde hair, one's got black hair, but at the same time, here you have the individual standing up on the top of a precipice. You see 6 more staffs coming in on him, and there's life growing from each one, so there's vitality, there's engagement, there's all of that, but he's standing above there in a very defensive stance. Now, I've told people I don't like this. We used to teach martial arts, we used to teach karate, and if we had a student standing like this, we'd be horrified, be like, no, stop, let's fix that so you're safer. But here, he's leaving himself, he's a little bit vulnerable, we'll just say that. And again, that's just my perspective, as a martial artist, but or past martial artist. So I'm not teaching anymore. We don't have our school anymore, but again, he's getting above it all, and he's taking a look at what's coming in on him, and he's standing his ground. He's defending his posture. He's defending his position. And again, Thurisaz is about defense, right, against opposition. And then we also have with the idea of protection with the 5, numerology. But with the 7, you're getting up above it all. You're letting things settle out. You're observing. You're seeing what's coming in on you. You're seeing what you're having to deal with, right? And here that seems to me what he's doing. He's just essentially standing his ground. So he's got this business. He's starting out. He's got his new opportunities. We'll say that. And it may be a heavy burden, but he's ready to go, and he's going to stand his ground for what he's trying to do. And again, if this is a work-related thing, and you're starting a business or you're new in your business, or maybe this is just where you've all of a sudden gotten a lot of clients or got a lot of work that's coming in, and you've got competition there in the field that you're in, and people are always going to try and take you out and be the ones that get your business. There's always that going on, right? But he's being wise about it because he's getting above it all. He's not getting into the fray with anybody and giving away maybe himself in the process, but instead he's getting above it, and he's looking, he's observing before acting, but he's standing there in that protective stance. He's protecting what he's built. All right. Again, 5 is protection. Thurisaz is about protection, and what are you ultimately protecting? Your material security and your happiness, right? Which then brings us to, I think, the card that defines all of it, and it's the 3 of Pentacles. Pentacles is the earth element, and it's about your material security. It's anything to do with your physical reality, your home, your education, tradition, loyalty, inheritance. It's a very Othala, which is the final rune of the Elder Futhark, which is an earth element rune, dealing with sacred space and ancestral heritage, prosperity, balance, protection again. But it's this concept of the earth element that is all about your physical reality. Well, part of that is your material happiness and security. And here you see the craftsman, a different presentation here of this and of this, but still uh, you've got all this motivation to do that, and here he is. Here's the other version of him as a mason, working his trade out in the open. Look at the beautiful facade we'll just say he's created. These two people have come by to take a look at what he's doing, perhaps to admire his work or to compliment him, or perhaps to hire him. So you see the three pentacles up here as part of the facade, and it's almost like he's in this archway to new experiences. And again, if they're going to hire him, then there's some more new work that's coming his way. Again, part of this. And but here there's a sense with three of not only communication, interaction, harmony, and things like that. There's also this element of integration with other people, and how he does that. He's very open. He's leaving himself quite open there to be observed. He's not trying to hide away and do anything. So he's right out there so people can see who he is and what he has to offer, and they seem pleased with what they see. And so there's a level of harmony there that I think aligns very well with Laetitia. They're happy, he's happy. Whatever's going on here, I think he's actually happy about. Here, he's eager to defend himself and to make sure he stays successful, right? And then here, it's a manifestation of that. And so that's why I say when even though we've got to run essentially on wands or the fire element here, plus with Thurisaz being a fire element rune, we have a lot of that motivation and initiation to do well, to succeed. And whether or not this is somebody that this is applying to someone who's in business for themselves, or you just work for somebody else, it doesn't really matter. You still need to succeed in your position so that you're still of worth to your employer, because you're helping your employer succeed, right? But so it could be that, but ultimately you have to make your own way, no matter how it transpires or manifests. You may have to stand your ground along the way and protect what you have, and even from your own impulses or lack of impulse control, right? To where you get excited and you're going to go and take on more than you should, maybe. That could be one example of that. So you want to make sure that you're maintaining a good flow of things, that you're in control of what you're doing, and that you're controlling your impulses along the way. And when you do, you end up here with the Three of Pentacles, where you have some success that is now being repeatable in a sense, where other people want to hire you, so you get to go be successful with them. And then from there, the word of mouth spreads, and pretty soon, here you go. I mean, theoretically, we could have started maybe with the three, but then I think we might be telling a little different story, and where it might be you're doing very well, you've got a lot of clients, but at some point you may meet some opposition from other people in the business world, or people within your job that maybe you're threatened. They're threatened by your success within the company, and maybe they want to do something to challenge you or undermine you. It could be something like that. Either way, in the end, what's important is your material security and happiness. There's the element of good fortune with Laetitia, so portends good fortune, but at the same time, so I think it's not unrealistic to relate that to what's going on in here in the cards. So I think overall, however you want to see this, however this resonates for you, I think that there's just something that is happening here where you've got some success maybe, and in whatever it is you're doing, and you may have to stand your ground a little bit to protect what you're building for yourself, either as an entrepreneur, a business owner, or as someone who works at a company. In terms of how you relate to everybody else around you. Sometimes people just don't like that. They don't like other people to succeed when they're not the ones shining. The boss is not looking at them; they're looking at somebody else, and you want the boss to look at you, and because you want the promotion, right? And maybe it's about to go to somebody else who's put in the time and to put in the effort, right? And if you're the one that's been doing that, putting in that time, putting in that effort, you have to be a little careful here to protect yourself, both from your own impulses and from other people trying to undermine your efforts. So two things there. So that you then succeed and you achieve the material security and the success and the happiness that you need to have. So I think that that's pretty much it. Either way we can look at it, it kind of comes out in the same way. Whether we start out with the 3 first and talk about that and adding more clients and then having to protect your interests. Either way, you're doing that to achieve your material security and happiness. So I'm just going to probably leave these cards in the order that I have them when I do the write up over on the blog over at Stepping Aside. I probably will mention about maybe starting with the 3 first and reading it a little bit differently. I'll put that in there as well. But honestly, I think it comes out essentially the same way, where you need to protect your own interests by controlling your own impulsivity and being aware of others that might be trying to undermine your success, so that you come out on top and you come out in a way that increases your material security and satisfaction and happiness. So anyhow, that's it for a Monday. Thanks for watching. Again, check out the blog over at Stepping Aside. The web address there is imsteppingaside.com. If you forget, click on more below the video and it'll open a window and it'll show that. You can scroll down at the bottom. There's all the places I'm at on social media and other writing platforms such as Substack, Medium, and Patreon. If you want to follow me over there or read this stuff over there. I do publish the write-up on those other platforms too. So check all that out. Everything came out last night. I hope it did anyway. I need to probably go check. I do 4 posts a week in addition to the 2 I do for the readings. And they come out in the midnight hour of Sunday morning. And so the forecast is out. The astrological overview is out. The Exploring Tarot card is out, and I think I've only got a couple more in that series, and I'll be done with that, and I'll be switching up to something else for that 4th post. And then, let's see, what's the other? Oh, yes, the correspondences for work and magic, if you're magically inclined. It's a nice little cheat sheet you can use for daily, where everything is and what the influences are every day. It saves having to cull it all out of your grimoire because if you know what mine looks like, which you don't, but if you did, it's everything's everywhere all at once, right? That movie. I thought, yeah, that's the title of that movie, which I thought was fantastic. It just sort of describes my life, so how I do everything everywhere all at once. But that's it's just an easier way to grab what you need to know how you want to set up any spells or rituals or whatever you want to do for each day. What's active, what's going to support that, and what might interfere with it, so anyway, that's there. And I do that every week, so it's kind of fun to do those, but I haven't done any creative writing in a while, so I'm probably going to do something like that here coming up. So anyway, check out the blogs. Again, it's called Stepping Aside, and the web address is imsteppingaside.com. If you haven't yet clicked subscribe here, I'd love you to do that. And I do these Mondays and Thursdays, as some of you already know. And come back again on Thursday for another edition of As Above, So Below. Be good to yourself, be good to one another, and blessed be.